Welcome to the Redflex. Welcome to the lineups live on the Redflex, where we are exclusively inclusive. And just before we go into the lineups, just a massive reminder for everybody. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Redflex, your total non-stop place for all Manchester United news and reactions. Zoom and myself are here this lovely Wednesday evening, and it's Manchester United time once again, and the teams are in. So let's dissect this news and the lineup soon. So the first thing, goalkeeping, David De Gea, no surprises there. Back four, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and Eric Bailly. Are you happy to see that Bailly's back in for Lindelof? Lindelof did do well in the last game, though.
Of course, yeah, obviously. Lindelof been off injured and he's nursing a back injury. You don't know how much he recovered and that, so it's important to obviously ease him back in. Bailly, yes, I'm happy. But I'm surprised that he's still playing Shaw and Wan-Bissaka and even Maguire.
Yeah.
I thought he would have rested a couple of players, man, especially in the defence anyway.
I think he knows that top spot is up for grabs. That's why he don't want to take no chances.
That's true, man. True, man. I think he wants to make sure he's number one by the end of the day, man.
Moving up midfield, a lot of possible options that we've got, as we all know. He's ultimately gone for Fred, Paul Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes. No McFred, which I think a lot of people are probably happy, especially in the game against Fulham. But, you know, let's not count Fulham out. They have been doing well recently, but we'll get onto that a little bit later on. So are you happy with Fred, Pogba, Fernandes? Should Donny van der Beek should have started? What was your thoughts on that, Zoom?
I wanted Van der Beek to start. Obviously, he's been in the squad long enough, man. He hasn't got much game time. But it's understandable why he hasn't played, man. There's too many players that play in his position, and there's too many better players playing in his position at the moment. So obviously, it's understandable why he's not really getting the game time. But his time will come, definitely, I believe.
You think it's the right decision for him to be left out of this one?
Not really. I would have preferred him because it's either he's concentrating, making sure he still gets top, and he doesn't really trust the players in order to rotate at the moment. But I feel like he should have rotated again. Yeah. But I could see like Fred, Pogba, and Fernandes playing a role. Maybe not as much as Fernandes, but where they keep going back and forth. It's more of a free roam area instead of actually playing their positions.
Okay. Up front then, a little bit of a surprise, but I think it is ultimately the right decision. So I believe Martial will be on the left-hand side. Greenwood will be playing off the right. And Edison, Cavani up front. What's your thoughts on that?
I think obviously he's resting Rashford. Been a bit poor in recent games. I think I don't
think Rashford deserved to play this game, to be honest. Not just a little bit poor. I think you're doing him you're paying him a little bit of a compliment there. I thought he was shocking against Liverpool.
Well, I feel like the whole team was shocking against Liverpool.
Come on, Sue. Come on. You can't say the whole team was shocking. Come on.
In attacking.
Based on what? Based on what?
In attacking. Come on, man. Bloody hardly made any chances. We should have gone for the juggler.
Two of the best chances in the game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't have just only been two. We drew against a rubbish Liverpool. Remember that. It's not.
Don't forget, reigning, defending Premier League champions. You have to respect them.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, on paper and on the squad, everyone, even Keane before the game, had a smile hearing that was Fabinho and Henderson at centre back. If Keane is smiling, there's something there at the end of the day, and they did turn up, but. I feel like he's also just playing Martial to try and boost his confidence. Martial's not.
I'm saying that I don't think Martial deserves to play either.
Yeah, true, but would you rather have Dan James or Martial, Carsten?
That does not mean that I want Dan James. I am not suggesting that Dan James should be starting whatsoever. Could have easily been Van der Beek, Mata, Pogba. Damn right, he can play right wing supposedly. Could have got him on the wings. Got Van de Beek in the midfield.
I think he's testing the Pogba and Fred combination, and then seeing that, but everything else is pretty much the same, pretty much same position. Obviously,
I don't think we've seen the Pogba Fred.
Exactly.
Have they played together much?
Not really. No,
I can't remember that much.
Exactly. So it's something to see, isn't it? Something is giving us a little bit of a taste of what can happen in the team.
It's quite attacking for Solskjaer, though. Normally, you'd see whenever Fred plays, you'd see him with either McTominay, but if Pogba plays in midfield, he's normally with Matic. So, like you said, it's something for us to see if it can work.
I think he's going to play Fred a bit more defensive for anything, man. And that,
yeah, I definitely think Fred's going to be the defensive midfielder.
Yeah, definitely.
Pogba's probably going to be in defensive mid, but also, centre mid, roam around a little bit with Bruno.
Yeah.
I think it's important for Greenwood today as well. He's young. He had a great season last season, but I think he's been a little bit off the boil. Would you agree with that, Steve?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's also a good game. Like we do struggle attacking on the right side. Obviously, there's all the hype about players coming in. Who's going to fill that role? I think this is a nice game where it's not too hard of a game. There is a meaning to this game. Obviously, winning goes top again, and I think it's a nice way to see and ease Greenwood to see if he can play on the right side on a low level team, but with a bit of purpose as well.
Super excited for the game. Finished work, I'd say probably around 5:30. Came downstairs. I had a little conversation with you. You showed me a little bits of hardware and tech that you had going on.
Yeah, man, I got the ring light in now, man. I'm coming in fresh. You know what?
Yeah, it's coming in fresh. He's going to have a green screen up. Even though I haven't got a green screen, I'm actually live and exclusive from Old Trafford.
I don't know how you do it, Cass. I don't know how it's still daylight there with you as well.
Well, wherever Kasim goes, the daylight follows. That's how it works. I bring light in spite of global pandemic. I will raise that morale. Even saying it, I didn't really believe it, to be honest. Where's my mask?
Yeah, outdoors.
Well, we do have a Redflex face mask in the works. If you are interested in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you can send us a DM at the Redflex official, and we will make sure that you have the coolest thing that's going around, something that you can talk about with your friends, an official Redflex face mask. If you want it, message us and we can sort it out. Just before we go, I think we've got a comment as well, which we'll bring up. Answar Ahmed, thanks for your comment. Very attacking lineup, but what the hell with Donny van der Beek? It is a very valid question, which I'll put to you soon. Not like Solskjaer to go with one pivot, you could call it, or one holding player. Obviously, Pogba's in form, so he's trying to get him in the team. But if you're Donny van der Beek right now, how must you be feeling?
Obviously, you feel like, you look at how United have been developing. They haven't been really doing much since, say, half a year after Solskjaer came in. Obviously, before then, you're seeing players getting introduced more earlier than naturally. Even with Fernandes, he came in straight away, made an impact. I feel like with Donny van der Beek, it's like Ollie doesn't really want to change it up too much because obviously he doesn't know his starting 11 really, and he's still tweaking the team in order to find his best 11.
Can you not start Pogba, Fernandes, and Donny van der Beek?
If you had that all-and-out centre, like defensive mid that was just perfect, that can support the back line, then yes, you could, but then you would be also, I would say it'd be like, what, 4-1-3, 4-1, yeah. You can. It's just that it's one of them where you just don't want to risk it too much because at the end of the day, we're lucky to be in this position. Yeah, because at the start of the season, I still do say top 4 and a trophy, the FA Cup or Premier League, if that, or Europa League, obviously now. But it's like we could actually be potentially win the league. Obviously, we've had some hiccups in the past. It is what's happened. Certain games we should have won and drew and lost, and it's one of them. But I feel like we're at that point where do we take a big risk or do we take small risks? And I think he's just favouring on the small risks at the moment. Because it's not just that if he can't play, he obviously he can play, but it's the fact that can he play with the players around him? Because when he has played, he's always having that extra couple of seconds in order to get the ball forward and all that, to get the ball in the way you want. He's always pointing on that, but you need to be able to do that naturally on instinct, and I don't think that's.
But is it the United players who are 1 or 2 steps a little bit behind, and that's why Van der Beek is having to point where he wants it? Exactly. Don't forget, this guy, he's been trained and schooled in Ajax. Is very famous, known for, historically to bring up players playing the right way. Excellent when Ajax got to the semi-finals. Don't get me wrong, Real Madrid he was going to Real Madrid. If it wasn't for the pandemic, Donny van der Beek would have been a Real Madrid player. So this guy isn't, just an average player. He is, top player. So I would like to see him at some point. But if we carry on winning, then, it's one of them things. What can you do? The questions will still be there, but there'll be no massive pressure. But if we lose this game, that people are going to say, where was Donny van der Beek? So swings and roundabouts, should we say?
But when we win this game, they're going to be still saying, where is Van der Beek? They're still going to say it anyway, so it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, I think for Solskjaer it's difficult because he wants 3 points. He's got to think what's best for the team, but surely Donny van der Beek, you would say, is better than Fred and Scott McTominay in terms of footballing aspect. But obviously I understand that, Fred and McTominay offer a little bit different qualities than what Donny van der Beek would do.
Would you say Van der Beek's a defensive player?
I wouldn't say he's predominantly a defensive player, no. I think he's box to box. He's a box to box midfielder.
So he'd be good up front. He'd be good going forward, but he won't be great coming back at the end of the day. I think that's the
obviously. I think we're struggling to fit in Pogba and Fernandes as it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna add Van der Beek. I reckon he will get game time. He's naturally gonna get game time. I just hope. Obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe you do because obviously you're there at the ground, and yeah. But if Van der Beek's obviously the relationship with the player, with the team, with the club is still good, then obviously it doesn't matter what the media says or what people think. As long as that relationship is great, obviously we can just wait and see on what happens in the future.
Definitely, I think if Paul Pogba goes as expected, his, you could say, replacement is already waiting in the wings. Exactly. But I still think we need a defensive mid. I think Matic
definitely.
Matic's time is naturally coming to an end, even though he has surprised me with the level of his performances.
Mata might be going as well.
Who's that, sorry?
Mata might be going as well, man.
Yeah, Mata might be going. Fred and McTominay, are they good enough to be the premium midfielders? I don't think so. They can do a job, don't get me wrong. They can definitely do a job, but I don't think Fred and McTominay are the answers if Pogba goes. That's where Van der Beek is going to come in. Again, I think he'll still be a replacement for Fernandes in the majority of games. But I still think we need that world-class defensive midfielder, even though it's easier to say we need one. Not many names come to mind. Exactly. If I think about world football of who can kind of do that job for us. Even, a lot of people say Kante and, players like that, but I don't think he's attainable. And I think his performances have not been to the standard that, where he first came on the scene. Look at Chelsea, they're not doing that well. So I don't think he's the answer. But this is not a transfer show. Let's not make this into a transfer show. Let's stick to the subject.
Let's make it into who's getting sacked next.
Yeah, we can quickly talk about that. I mean, I think Lampard, he's holding on. He's holding on. But it could be happening. Do I think he's going to get sacked right now? I don't think he will just yet, but if top four becomes like 15, about 15 points away, or the end of the season they don't get top four, then he's going to have to go, because he got top four with a team that was a lot worse last season. So
definitely,
he will need to go. Just before we go, then me and Soom, we will be back for the halftime show, where hopefully Manchester United have already signed, sealed, and delivered the 3 points by halftime, and we'll already know that we're going top of the table. That's what we're expecting. But make sure you do join us for the halftime chat, a new show on the Redflex. We're covering all aspects of the game here at the Redflex, the lineups, the halftime, the post-match, the match reactions, even the broadcasting reactions from all over the world. It's all covered on the Redflex. So just before we go then, Soom, how are you feeling that this game is going to go? How are you feeling that this game might go in terms of scores?
I feel like it should be an easy enough game. Obviously, we hear the stories that the players weren't happy with the draw, as they shouldn't be after the Liverpool game. So usually when something bad happens and the players aren't happy, the next team should be worried, because something's going to happen in that game and they're going to get their asses handed to them. That's what usually happens.
You think it's going to be a smashing?
It's going to be a smashing, man. I think they should be annoyed that Leicester's currently in first, even though they've had the extra game than us. They played earlier than us. We shouldn't be happy with that. We should be still there, 3 points clear, 2 points clear, whatever it is. And Fulham are getting their ass handed to them today, man.
You've heard it first, a Redflex exclusive, and I quote, Fulham are getting their asses handed to them. You've heard it first, and you've heard it live on the Redflex. Join us, as I said, for the halftime show, or the halftime chat even, and make sure you do tune in for the match reactions and the global fan cam, which will be straight after the game. Until then, thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe, and we will see you soon.